So here's where I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit, y'all. So track with me, and if I lose you, just hang in there because we'll be back. There's a crucial relationship between our sense of identity and how we experience relationships and how we see others interact with us. Our sense of self emerges from the repeated relational experiences on which we come to realize consistently predictable. So the way the other consistently is toward us, and then we rely on that and we respond in a way that we're expecting that, there's this reciprocal nature there. I'm just going to give an example. If a parent is scolding of a child who makes lots of noise, the child might learn to be quiet. The quietness of the child is going to influence the parent, so that if the child then isn't doing what the parent now expects the child to do, stay quiet, then the parent's going to react to the child not being quiet, which is going to reinforce the child being quiet. So there's this reciprocal nature. I'm not assigning any blame to the child because the child is a child, but there is a reciprocal bidirectional influence going on. And so as an infant, the way I experience others responding to me, mirroring me, the way they treat me, how I experience the connection with them is the stuff from which my sense of identity is built. It provides the raw material out of which my sense of identity is going to be built. In the textbooks, this would be called the internal working model of self and other. So when we experience this enough, it gets organized and kind of encoded in our minds as this internal working model, a model of, hey, this is how others are, this is how I am. So how I experience myself is going to link how I experience this caregiver in this relationship, this primary relationship. Now, a healthy sense of self comes from, and this is good news to all of you parents out there, good enough parenting, not perfect parenting, just attuned enough to know when there's been a rupture in the attachment and to have some ability to repair that rupture. That's enough. The problem is some folks don't even get that good enough parenting because there's other stuff going on. And it's not always like because the parent's a bad person. It could be dad left and mom is having to work 3 jobs. Going a little bit deeper. A self state is a version of us that is a context-dependent internal working model of self and other that's activated by sets of memories, behavioral responses, and perceptions. So in other words, we all have different self states. I'm in a certain self state right now. It's activated by what I'm doing, by where I am in my office, by memories of having done this before. I'm showing up as a certain version of me, a certain self state. And the reality is that every single person is a unitary self actually made up of several self states. If I showed up as this Jake, this self state Jake with my wife, that wouldn't be cool. She wouldn't like that. That would get old really quick. If I showed up as this self state with my daughter, she would end up needing a family of origin intensive when she's older. All right. Because right now I'm in a certain kind of professional performative self state, but I can slide back and forth. You see, in optimal development, our self states are regulated and integrated. They're integrated enough. They're closely connected enough that I can move back and forth among them. Though I'm in a different self state than I will be tonight at home with my wife, I'm the same person. It's integrated enough that it's healthy. After this webinar is over, I'm going to have a client come in. It's going to be a slight adjustment to my self state. So I might be father, husband, friend, son, counselor, but they're integrated, they're regulated. Regulated meaning my whole brain is online in that self state.